A major Heat signing is incoming as they are among the favorites to land a veteran wing in Khris Middleton. I'm here to break down whether or not it seems like Miami will go in this direction and if it would be a good idea if they do. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Heat Digest. But first, remember to scroll down and click that subscribe button, as nearly 90% of you guys watching this video are not currently subscribed to the channel. We do appreciate all the love and support. So thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down, will Khris Middleton land in Miami? Now, this is the first time we discussed Middleton this offseason, as there have been a lot of names and connections to this Miami Heat team. But based off these brand new odds presented by Bovada Official, obviously, we now know that Khris Middleton and the Miami Heat are somewhat in connections, and the Heat are the fourth best favorite to land Middleton this offseason in the form of a buyout from the Washington Wizards. Now, the Heat are listed at plus 800 behind teams like the Suns, the Pistons, as well as the Los Angeles Lakers, who all hold the same, if not better, odds to acquire Middleton. Now, Middleton is an experienced veteran up to this point and has played a long time in the NBA and had a stretch of years where he was consistently an 18 to 21 point per game scorer. Overall, had a great knockdown shot from behind the three-point line, whether it was off the dribble or catch and shoot, while also maintaining some ability to slash to the painted area. Overall, a pretty good player up to this point in his career. Now it seems like he's more of a complimentary guy rather than a legit number two option like we saw in the past back in Milwaukee. And for Miami, with the roster as currently constructed, it would be interesting to see him on this team because it would strictly be in a bench role, in a complimentary piece type of role. And I think it could work out. Another three-point shooter who can play respectable defense on that side of the floor. I think he'd fit in well with this Miami Heat team. The only problem is the lack of minutes he would then be getting. I'm not quite sure what Middleton's expectations are for the next team that does acquire him, but it seems like it is going to come by buyout. Now, we all know Khris Middleton played a long time for the Milwaukee Bucks, where they were consistently competitive in the Eastern Conference, with him as one of the focal points when he was healthy, playing next to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obviously, things ran sour in Milwaukee. Damian Lillard departed after his injury. Giannis was questioning whether or not he would remain in Milwaukee, and then Khris Middleton ended up in Washington. Now, he was traded the Milwaukee Bucks trade Khris Middleton and A.J. Johnson and a pick swap to the Washington Wizards for Kyle Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin Jr., and a second-round draft pick. And that was from Shams just, a few months ago, back on February 6th at the NBA trade deadline. Since that, obviously, it was very, very quiet for Khris Middleton, as it seems like everything that goes to Washington just simply goes to die. He averaged 10.5 points in Washington. Washington was abysmal, and it feels like will continue to be abysmal as time goes on. Hopefully, Middleton can get out of Washington and they can really reset with younger pieces or draft compensation and result in them being a team of the future. But I don't believe Middleton at his current state is going to be someone they're trying to build around or really have a part of that future going forward, as he's definitely an older piece on that team in comparison to the other younger guys they currently have on that constructed roster. But also, is he going to be enough, and is he going to be a substantial piece to the point where he's going to actually be extremely productive and to the point where you don't want to give him up or you can't give him up? No, I don't think that's the point of Khris Middleton's career that we are in, and because of that, it seems like Middleton could be on the way out of Washington. Now, Shams went on to tweet this: Washington Wizards three-time NBA All-Star Khris Middleton has picked up his $33.3 million player option for the 2025-2026 season. As we look at his contract here, he did have a player option for that third and final year of his deal, which again, $33.3 million is then owed to him, and he opted into that player option rather than testing free agency. Probably a very smart financial decision from Middleton, as there was no chance he was going to get roughly $33 million per year in any contract that was going to be presented to him in this current offseason that we are in, as once again he's going into his age 34 season. The overall statistical production is way down, in the role in which he's going to be playing regardless of the team he is on is going to be minimized to a certain degree. Whether it's 10 to 12 points or it's 14 to 18 points per game, it is going to be a lower comparison compared to what we've seen at his peaks and valleys throughout the entirety of his career back in his heyday in Milwaukee. So is Miami going to be involved? Well, if the price tag is not going to be substantial, if it's one, maybe two draft picks in exchange for someone in Khris Middleton who's going to be having their contract paid by the Washington Wizards, where the Miami Heat could go out there and acquire him for a veteran minimum around the lines of $5.5 million for this up and coming year, I could definitely see Miami going out there and being intrigued by this move. If with this roster as currently constructed, I could see how he could be the number 2 or number 3 small forward or power forward coming off the bench. And I know hearing Middleton playing the power forward is very scary because the lack of size you would then maintain in that lineup. But just think about the flexibility, having the ability to have Hero, Norman Powell, and Andrew Wiggins plus Khris Middleton on the floor all at the same time, plus one big, whether it's Ware or Adebayo, allowing Bam to then exit for a breather or Kalel to exit for a breather, and then run a smaller lineup with a lot of athleticism and a lot of versatility across the board would still be substantial and very impactful in my opinion. I think it's something that someone like head coach Eric Spoelstra would be great to utilize with his different abilities and his just willingness to throw out different schematics against different looks in the NBA night in and night out. As last year we saw them lead the league with different starting five constructions going into games with more depth and with more talent at their fingers. I would doubt we would see anything different going into next season for this Miami Heat team. Overall, not the most glamorous trade, not the trade or not a move that is really going to jump off the page at you when you look at the transactions and the recap of this offseason for this Miami Heat organization, but it could definitely be a good helping hand for this Heat team that is trying to be not only competitive in the Eastern Conference, but the league as a whole. Overall, I enjoy this idea. I don't think it's a home run of a move for this Miami Heat team, but at plus 800, those odds seem like there is at least a sliver of a chance that the Heat are going to be in connections and try to acquire someone like Middleton. Let me know down below your overall thoughts and opinions on this trade. Do you think this would be a good move for the Miami Heat? Do you think Khris Middleton would fit in schematically for this Heat team? Based off the role that I would assume Middleton understands he's going to be playing, regardless of whether or not he goes to the Lakers, the Pistons, the Heat, regardless of the team, it's going to be more of a complementary piece. Yes, he may find starting minutes at any of those teams, regardless of whether it's game 1 or game 60 or game 82, or even into the playoffs due to injuries, fatigue, or load management, whatever may take place. I could see how the role could be minimized and when he's given the moment. And again, it wouldn't be every single night, but when those moments do come where he is called upon and needs to answer that call to be an offensive scorer and be an offensive threat for that respected team, Middleton still has great abilities, and I would not doubt if there were small but periodic outbursts from him on the offensive side of things where he could be a major boost to any offense he finds himself on, in really a role, whether it's coming off the bench or finding starting minutes. He's going to make good in the minutes that he does get, and I think this could be really the next chapter of Middleton's career, maybe being a six-man for a good team and being a dominant offensive output coming off the bench for that organization. I can't wait to see how this all plays out. Let me know down below your overall thoughts and opinions on this possible trade and move for this Miami Heat organization, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest. Thank you guys for watching.